Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, then a big huge welcome to you. In today's video I want to talk about something that's a really important thing, and I wanted to do this video for a while but I never got the chance to do it, and so I thought it was time just to sit down and talk about it. And of course, by the title that you see in the video, I'm going to be talking about stranger danger. And stranger danger is a very important thing for children, but it's never really discussed within the autism community. And even though stranger danger is aimed for children, and they normally talk about stranger danger in schools and other activity centres such as Girl Guiding and Scouts, not much stranger danger has been explained properly within the autism community, but I could be completely wrong. So I thought in today's video I would have a sit down and talk about stranger danger, plus giving a few tips that I have learnt. But I'm not going to say all of them because there are plenty of tips out there, but I will leave a link in the description to a website that has more information and more tips learning about stranger danger. So with stranger danger, this is a massive big thing because, as everyone knows, well, in the UK at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the UK, within the last few months, there have been some events that involved stranger danger. My own experiences of stranger danger didn't happen whilst I was a child, and it was largely because that I went out with my parents all the time and a trusted family member, because I didn't really have experiences interacting with strangers out in the streets and in any other places apart from making friends in social groups. But as I grew into an adult, and when things started to get different, such as walking on my own independently, taking public transport, or just basically just like sitting down or waiting for a train or a bus or anything like that, I found out that it's very important just to be careful. And I have had a few experiences where I had been involved in a few stranger danger positions, and I literally got stalked about 3 to 4 times during my process of going out independently, but I knew what to do because I had one of my parents with me to talk about the safety of what to do and to remember things like the rules of the road and what you shouldn't do in case you get yourself into a difficult situation. But these events can happen and it is very scary, and I know that I've been like scared plenty of times, and it is really tough because not only I'm a woman, and even though a lot of people do get stalked depending on genders, age, etc., most of the people that get stalked, especially at the moment, are women. And plus, since I'm autistic and have learning difficulties as well, and sometimes things can get a bit tricky, it's 3 times harder because there might be some times where I could actually go with someone if someone like a stranger says, "Oh, come on, I will take you home with me." Like, I know what to do, but even if I didn't, it will still be a bit tricky. But it's always important that if you are autistic or have learning difficulties and you feel like you want to be independent, you have to make sure that you have to have a sit down and talk to someone you trust before you can start using public transport, walk on your own, or trying to go out during a certain day at a certain time. These things are so important because you just don't know what's going to happen, because when you're out and about outside of your home, or even if you are inside your house or by yourself, things can get very complicated and very difficult. And even though you feel like sometimes you feel uncomfortable about being on your own, it is a tough challenge, but you won't be the only person, because there are so many people who have had these experiences out there. So the tips I'm going to be sharing with you are just like a few of the tips that are based on my own experience, plus a few tips that I found from the website, from the link I put down in the description box, the few ones that I wanted to share, because these are the ones are very important. So the first few tips that I'm going to be sharing is when you are using public transport. So tip number one, when you are using public transport, if you are going on a double-decker bus, never ever ever go up to the top deck all by yourself. Even though that buses now have CCTV cameras, not all of the cameras will pick things up quite quickly. Trains are a bit more tricky, but what I advise to do on trains is that even though if you feel a little bit uncomfortable, try and if you can, try to sit at the front carriage. And also if you have any problems at all, and if you see a conductor or a ticket officer, always try to talk to them if you feel a bit worried. And then also, if you do feel a little bit concerned, always try to get a seat just towards the doors. And if it gets too much, make sure you jump quickly out of the carriage and find the nearest person or staff member on the station or a platform, even if it's not your station you're supposed to get off at. Try and speak with someone. So the next few tips that I'm going to be sharing is the rules of the road and walking outside. If you are walking alone, make sure that you always have your earphones off and don't listen to music at all. But if you feel like it's too much, just have one earphone in and one earphone down, just so you know what's going on. However, if there is a person walking behind you, and if you feel that they are making you very uncomfortable, always just turn to the corner of the pavement. This is something that I did in the past and it has helped me a lot, but basically what I did is I turned my head a little bit, or just basically moved my eyes to down, and if it's a sunny day, always watch that person's shadow. And if you feel it's too much, always go to the nearest building, like a library, a shopping centre, a supermarket, anywhere, and just tell a member of staff what's going on. And if you feel that it's getting too much, then they can either call the police or just call a member of your family if you ask that you want to call a parent or a carer to tell them where you are, what happened, and if you can get collected. And also, if a person invites you to go into their van or in vehicles, just say no. And if you feel that if they're trying to pressure you, just say no. And if you feel that's too much, just either quickly walk or run as fast as you can and go to the nearest building, and make sure you tell someone what happened, and make sure that if you feel uncomfortable, just either tell the police or just tell someone who you really trust. And this is why this is the most important thing, to have your mobile phone with you. And I could go on with a few more stuff and a few more tips, but I know that I won't go into too much detail. But again, I will leave the link to the website I've mentioned in the description box down below as well, and hopefully that should give you a little bit of more information on what to do and what not to do. And yeah, hopefully I gave clear enough information, but hopefully I didn't really do too much, because this is the last thing I ever want. And personally, I'm not a real expert, but I'm just sharing some stuff again based on my own experiences. But also, if you feel really uncomfortable at everything, you must tell someone who you really trust. And with this, I'm going to be drawing this video to a close, and in my next video I'm going to be sharing something very special, but I'm not going to say what it is yet because I'm going to keep it quiet for a little bit, but I'm so excited to show you and I really cannot wait. And until then guys, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and as always remember to keep on dreaming and never stop believing. Stay safe, especially if you are in the streets, stay well, and I will see you very soon. Bye!